Hello everyone, my name is Gabe. Welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint Starry Night by Vincent Van Gogh. We're only going to need 2 brushes to paint this. We're going to have a fat one like this and we're going to be using a thin one like this. And if you want to get your color palettes ready, we'll be using 7 colors. We have a dark blue, we have a cobalt blue, yellow, orange, black, white, and green. Let's get started. So when it comes to painting with acrylics, you want to start with what's in the background of the painting and then work your way up to the foreground. So we're going to go ahead and start with our big brush today. That's the biggest brush that you can find, and we'll go ahead and get it wet. And now the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually just going to give this a base color. So we're just going to go ahead and dip our paint into the yellow. We're covering a large area, so we'll make wide brush strokes from one side of the canvas to the other. Now let's go 3/4 of the way down and make sure we paint the top and the sides of the canvas too. Now that we're done with the background, we can go ahead and retire our brush into the water cup here. The next brush we're going to use is this pointed brush right here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this brush nice and wet. And now the next color we're going to be using is this dark blue right here. And now we're just going to start blocking off some of these moons and stars and whatnot. We'll go ahead and start off with this one on the right here. Just block off where we want the negative shape of that to be. So I'm just going to just really draw it in. There it is. So what we have to do now is we're just going to follow that same shape by making little lines. And now when it comes to making these lines, you want to go kind of more on the thin side. You don't want to make them like thick and short. You kind of want them long because you want this like to evoke movement and just to have a good flow. We're going to take that color and we're going to actually bring some off to the side of the canvas here, and that's just going to look really nice. It's going to really finish it off, and we'll do the same with the top right here. We'll just paint some lines going in. If your lines aren't coming out blue and they're coming out green, that's normal, that's good. We're going to layer this up. This whole painting is just based around tons and tons and tons of layering with different shades of blues and whites. And this kind of green tone is actually going to add a nice little splash of green color. So now that we have this star blocked off, we're going to go ahead and move on to the other one, which is this star right here. So we're just going to go ahead and just block that one off by creating a series of little lines, creating a circle here. And we're just going to go over it a couple times. And then these 2 rings kind of like join forces and collide right here. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and block out the corner star right here. So go ahead and just block out a nice little area for where you want your star to sit. So now we're going to go ahead and do this last star here, and we kind of just want to work with the space that we have here to create a nice little figure 8. So it's going to kind of like shoot from this side and kind of curve up and around under, just like that on that painting. So you can just swoop up, follow the shape that you naturally already have from the star that you just drew before it. And there we go. And I would recommend using different size lines, some long ones, some short ones. You know, you want this to look very free-flowing, and we'll just keep continuing that. Over here, this one shoots over. Now that we have the 4 stars blocked out on the top, we're going to go ahead and start working on this wind tunnel here, the one that swooshes over, and we're going to be using the same color that we were just using all along. But this time we're just going to come in from the side and create that swoosh. Now again, it's not going to look amazing because this is the first pass. Through different layers it's going to start really coming to life. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we're going to swoosh in up here, and then you want to go to about halfway in your canvas. You want to be about right in the center when you start bringing it in, and you're just bringing this circle in. And I'm just going to start building from that. Again, you want to make your lines different lengths. Have some short ones, have some long ones. That does it for that wind tunnel. Now we're going to block out the star that's right underneath it. So right here in this little space where you still have yellow and underneath the wind, we're going to create a nice size star right here. And we're just doing a dotted line around it at first, and then we'll just build up from there. And we're just coming around and around. Now that we have that star blocked out, we're going to go ahead and continue this wing swoop, and we're going to make it come out from right here at the bottom of this first swoop. It's just going to swoop out from the bottom this way. So you kind of want it to go back up here. You're just creating another one of these loops. And this is just gonna keep coming down like this. And this is our swirl right here. Now that we're done with the wind swoops, we're gonna go right in here and then block out one star. So go ahead and just draw a circle right in there where you want it. And then we're just gonna keep outlining that until there's no more yellow left. We'll do one more spot for a star right here. And that'll be our last star. But this is gonna get covered by the big shrub that's in the foreground of the painting anyways. But that's what happens in painting all the time. You paint something beautiful and then you cover it up. We need to do this because it's got to sit on top of this. And painting with acrylics is all about layering. I think I'm just going to make my main star over here a little bit smaller. I want it to be big, but not so big. Take a scoop of your white paint and mix it together with blue. We're making a lighter blue. And now we'll just go over the same exact paths we just did with the darker blue. We want to follow the same shapes and fill in the yellow spots, as well as overlap the darker blue we started with. Once you have the second layer, we're going to take another scoop of white and mix it with blue once more to make an even lighter blue. And now we're going to go over the same paths once more. And we're just going to go and do the swoop around here. We're just going to highlight that swoop even more so here and really show off that this is all one moving piece. Van Gogh's painting is all about movement and flow, and there's a term in art called directional forces, and that's something that draws your eye from one side of the canvas to the other. So these swoops, they really help with the directional forces. And now we're going to do these swoops that come in right here. Alright, now let's do this star here. And last but not least, let's go ahead and finish up this swirl. Cover up the yellow and go and with the movement that we've already created. So clean off your brush completely. You want to get all the blue out of there. And the next color we're going to be using is pure white. And now when we add this pure white, it's really going to bring out the highlights, and it's really going to start coming to life. I'm going to start off here with the swoosh so you can really tell like what big of a difference this is going to start to make. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start swooshing it right here. Now that we have the wind swirls down, you can really see how the painting is starting to come together. So we're just going to keep rocking and rolling with our pure white paint here, and we're just going to start going around some of these stars right here. Now when you're doing these, they kind of get bright here, and then as they go out, they start not becoming so prominent. It gives it the effect like it's shining and like the light is starting to fade. So over here you can draw a good amount of lines and really cover it up. Again, I'm just attacking that yellow. I want that to be something out in the back. So if we're building up the layers, I just want to build up on top of the yellow. I'm going to start just like slowing down on my white as I get out here. Alright, and then this one we're just going to go around. And I'm not going to go too far down with the white on this one, maybe just like 3 rings worth. Okay, and now we're going to go around this star here. And now we're going to do the same with this star over here. Just a couple of rings. Okay, and now over here. That's it for the highlights right there. So now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the true blue right in there to create some more of those shadows, bring some of the shadows back. Alright, so now we're going to clean off our little brush here, and the next color that we're going to use is yellow and white together. So now I'm just going to take my yellow here, take a scoop of my yellow, bring it up top, take a scoop of my white, put it over by my yellow, and I'm just going to make like a lighter yellow. It's going to mix the two together, and it becomes a much more powerful color once you mix it with white. Alright, and now our goal is to make like a little swoosh here, and start drawing in the shape that I want for the swoosh. So you want it to go down at first, and then you want it to go back up. And then once you get about halfway, you start making the curve for it going up like that. And we're just gonna make this yellow bar going across. All right, so you can just go back and forth with your brush quickly. And I'd say this bar is about 2 to 3 inches, give or take. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and either make orange or just use some orange. And I'm just going to make some here by mixing the red with the yellow that I have. There we go. And I'm just going to go over this these moons a little bit here. I'm just going to go back and forth with my lines. They get kind of like less and less as they go. I'm going to do the same over here. Let's finish off those moons with a little bit more white. And now you're kind of going like in between the star. So you're doing the star here. And I'm just going to cover up a lot of those yellow lines that I made. Those orange ones. Alright, and then these we'll just go over one more time along the edges. And let's use that same orange. And we'll go ahead and make some lines here. And I'm just going to come up from the bottom. And I'm just going to make some lines side to side. Now I don't want to mix this in too much. I'm just making quick little lines to create some values. If I go over it too many times, it's going to mix together in one color, and that's not what I'm going for here. I want these lines to be visible. Okay, and now going back in with my white, I'm going to add some values near the top here. Everything's just very textured in this painting. There's no flat colors. We're going to take our big brush, go ahead and get it wet, and we're going to go ahead and just take this green paint right here, and we're just going to go ahead and fill in the bottom. It's going to make nice wide brush strokes because we're covering a large area. We want to do that quickly, so go ahead and paint the sides too. And now I'm just going to go ahead and follow this shape. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and make some lines with some dark green. And I'm just going to go ahead and put them on a curve shape like this. I don't want to go straight up, I kind of want to go with a curve to my right. Okay, and I'm just using that dark pytho green. Now that we got the dark green in there, let's get some blue. There's actually a couple blue lines in here and it's just going to make it pop. So I'm going to clean my brush off and go ahead and put some blue paint on my brush. And there's not too many of these, they're just here and there. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in some blue. We're going to add black a little bit later, but we're just going to let that dry for now. And we can go ahead and start working on our centerpiece here, the shrub, the main piece. Okay, so I'm going to go about right here in between this star and this star. And I'm going to be about 3 inches down from the top. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the tip of my brush and just go ahead and make a line going down. This line's going to go all the way to the bottom. It's kind of like a TP shape, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it a really, really thin TP for now. I'm just going to start filling in. So now that we have that piece in, I'm going to go ahead and draw this little mini tower. Okay, so it kind of hangs down over here to the left and not too far from it, and then it curves back in. Fatten it over to the side here. There's another little piece of tower that hangs off right about here. It's this tower here. So we're going to go ahead and draw a line. It's going to kind of come down and connect on over here. And you can just connect that all the way to the bottom right there. Fatten this up a little bit down here. Okay, and then right about here, this tower goes, and this one kind of goes in like this, down, and then down over here. And this one's just going to come from the yellow, and it's just going to come from a point, and it's just going to connect. Okay, and this point kind of like grows back as it goes. Like so. This has a little tower coming in from like the middle of the wind tunnel, and this one kind of goes down and to the right, and then over to the left, and then it kind mix right over here. And then this is actually going to keep going down. And this back here should sit about halfway over on your canvas. It's about at the halfway mark right here. Okay, and then we're just going to cover this up in black. Alright, and then this one is just going to sit right here next to this one. And it just dips over to the right a little bit and then in and back down. And now that we have our hedge drawn, we can go ahead and add some black to the grass. So just go wherever you feel you want to add some shadows. Just go ahead and add some black. The last thing we have to do is go ahead and clean off your brush. And we're just going to take this yellow / green and we're just going to go up and down the length of this tower here. And we're just adding some values and shapes to this black here. And it's a little bit wet, so it's gonna kind of like kill the color that we're making, but it's fine. We want to just use like these light trails that's gonna be created. And we're just gonna use those to go up into our tips of the shrub here. Just making vertical lines. And with that, we are finished with the painting, so you can go ahead and sign it on the bottom corner of the painting. You can dedicate it to someone and write your initials, or write my initials if you want to. They're GQ. And I just want to thank you for joining me. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop a comment and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you have any other suggestions for any tutorials that you guys might want to see, also let me know. Feel free to check out some other videos I have on my channel. I have lots of time lapses and cool things. And once again, thank you for joining me. I can't wait to do the next one. Peace.